beat.
Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome back to The Vibe. This is Travis J.
And this is Candace.
And listen, I'm excited. I am excited.
Just stop smiling, Travis.
I'm excited. We've got a special guest in the studio today. Let's have a studio round of applause before we say his name. Steve Salvari coming in from First Dates. What's going on, sir?
Welcome.
What's up?
Yes.
We sing
Sing
it.
it, Steve. Love it.
How you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you.
Thank you for coming in, man. Coming in short notice.
Yeah, into the lion's den I go.
Yeah, man. Let's do this. All right, let's
The
kick
lion's
off
den, you know?
straight away. Now, we saw the video from First Dates, and it's gone all over social media.
Yeah.
You've been the topic of debate for like a week and a half now.
Yeah, it's been on. They were discussing it on the right stuff. They've been, Kiss FM. It's been in the Guardian. It's been in the Daily Mail. The Sun called me elderly.
Oh, ouch, Steve.
Listen, I've had some laughs with this, right, and that's one of the biggest ones. I just roared when I heard that. Elderly,
Damn.
Yeah. So you got to laugh, innit?
How have you handled all the social media?
It's
all
had
the
no
comments?
effect on me at all.
Nah?
Are you heavily into social media? Do you use Twitter, Instagram, Facebook?
I'm a heavy Facebook user.
Facebook. Do you use Twitter?
No, not much.
Okay.
But I've seen it.
I was going to say, that's the main...
I've been watching everything.
Yeah.
And, some of it's been pretty horrendous. But,
Have you had good feedback?
Yeah,
have you had people that have rated your choices and decisions and been like, I'd have done the same thing?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah?
I've had a lot of positive feedback.
Would you say it's 50-50?
They did it, I think it was on BuzzFeed. They did a poll.
Right.
It came out 71%.
That you made the right choice.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been controversial. So I want to ask, why did you go on the show in the first place?
Because I wanted a laugh. I went on there for a laugh. And maybe
Not for love.
I went on there for a laugh, and maybe I'd meet someone nice. That's the reason I went on there. Mm-hmm. And you need to know, I didn't apply to go on that show.
You didn't apply?
Nope. No, I did not. They hunted me down.
They hunted you down, Steve.
That's the truth of the matter.
They hunted you down, the eligible bachelor.
I don't know so much about that.
Let's get Steve on the show.
No, I mean, someone within the company called his cousin, who was a friend of my very good friend. They were looking for an older man because they weren't getting enough people like us on there. And unbeknownst to me at the time, they already had the lady.
Okay.
Elaine.
Elaine. And my friend rang me and said, what are you saying? So I said, yeah, why not? Because I've got a very highly developed sense of humour. And it just seems like a laugh to me.
Okay.
Do you think that Elaine knew that you were going on there for a laugh? And then secondly,
how would she know?
Do you feel like she came looking for love?
I think she might have been.
Yeah.
I think so.
And you had no idea before meeting her. Like, did they let you know a little bit about the other person? So it's completely like a blind date?
Completely.
Okay.
Now, the part that everybody's talking about was the end of the date. Because it seemed like you guys were having a decent date.
Yeah, it seemed like a good date.
The conversation was flowing. There was a nice little chemistry building there.
That's the way they edited it.
How did the date go for you?
Explain the date.
Well, it was going all right. Look, I'm a well brought up person, come from a good family from Trinidad, right? So I was brought up to make the best of a situation, right? I wasn't attracted to the lady, I'm sorry to say, but
damn, Steve.
Well,
damn, Steve.
Putting it right out there.
No, you say how it is.
Yeah, I am going to say how it is because I'm afraid.
Hey,
this is it.
Tight the things.
Yeah, and she was quite personable, and I just made the most of the evening. That's it. You know what I mean?
So then when it comes time to pay for the date now, this is where it got controversial.
Didn't it just?
Because you just immediately was like, I ain't got that.
That's how they edited it, all right?
Okay, so can you tell us, all right, so what happened before they cut to the I ain't got that?
What you need to know is that I didn't know I had to pay.
You didn't know?
No, I didn't. And that's the absolute gospel truth. I knew nothing about the show, right? When I got called in for the interview, because they rang me up, had a chat with me and stuff, and decided, maybe I could be good on it, right? So I went in, but the night before, having not seen the program, I went and had a look. And I went online and I watched about 10 minutes of it, 10, 15 minutes. And, okay, that's all right. And never saw anybody part with any cash, right? So when...
But wait, so you didn't watch the whole programme? Because I'm sure in all of the episodes they do.
Yeah. No, didn't watch the whole programme. I just wanted to get...
Oh, you sampled just to get a gist of it?
Just a glimpse, just understood what it was all about. You understand, right?
Right.
So then I walked to my doom, didn't I? Right?
Your doom.
And
Steve.
So on the, at the interview, we're all getting on really well. And they said, have you seen the show? And I said, yeah. So, to be fair to them, they would have assumed that I knew the run-ins, but I didn't, right?
Right.
Now, back in my day, I was on telly a lot, behind various bands and all this kind of business.
We're going to touch on that. We're going to touch on that later on.
Oh, you've done some research.
You have,
we have indeed. This is what we do.
We know you.
So, that was it. Now, if you look at the video... I'll tell you this, they truncated everything, right? But if you have a look at the point when the woman sort of walked up, the young girl walked up and said, are you ready to pay? You can see me swivel and go, what?
Oh.
Really? Because they gave us £25 each, right?
Okay.
Now, they always paid my expenses, your travel expenses, right?
Yeah.
So in the green room on the day, they said, this is for you, this is contribution. And it just didn't register with me. I thought, it's me expenses. Charles did that, and I went on the show.
Okay.
Right? And so when she came and said that, I was like, oh my God. Now, what you got to think about, right, is if I was not intending to pay, right, once I found out I had to pay, right, I wouldn't have been embarrassed, right? I felt it was, immediately I felt, oh my God, I ain't got it, right?
Yeah.
And I gave her the opportunity, because that's what the bit you don't see is the length of time between, me getting that bill and the reactions and stuff, right? I actually looked at her and pulled her face, and waited for her to say, well, shall we go halves? And she didn't.
So you waited for her to nominate?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Right? Because, I was stuffed. Because I'd fallen for a scam.
A scam?
Yes. I went and bought something on the net, and they went in and rinsed my account. Right?
Prior to the whole day. This is a completely separate situation,
it was around that time.
Oh, I see. Right? So your finances were frozen?
Yes. I was stuffed whichever way you looked at it, right? So, I must have had about 60 quid on the other card. I got another account which, I used to buy little things, but my main account was
cleaned.
Yeah. And they'd blocked it, and I was waiting for them to put the money back in because they were asking me all kind of questions and all this kind of business, right?
Yeah.
So there's me on national TV.
Ouch.
National TV, man. I was just roasting, right? And I looked at her and I was, help me.
Help me, Elaine.
Help me. Right? And she didn't. Right? So I must admit, I got a bit vexed, which is why I turned the bill around to her and said, I ain't got that. It's £111, man.
£111. So wait, before...
Do you feel like your approach in that situation was what made it a mess for you? Because
or the edit?
The go in Dutch thing is not really the problem. It's the fact that, for me, I saw you the way you went, I ain't got that. And you just flashed the receipt in her face. It looked like, whoa.
Yeah, actually, it wasn't that heavy, but it was like that,
Yeah.
And to be honest, I could have handled it better, I must admit, right? But I wonder if anybody else in the same situation, right, could have handled it any better. You're just there on the spot, you're roasting, and I'm thinking my mates are going to rip me.
Yeah, I want to know, to the public who are listening, how would you handle that situation? Being in exactly the same situation, your account is frozen, you didn't know that you were going to be paying, and you thought that the £25 was travel contribution. Yeah. What would you do? What would Stormzy have done? All right, so give us a call on the studio line. That's 0208 963 9566, or WhatsApp us on 07983 980 224, because I want to know what other people would have done in the situation, because obviously we didn't know that background to it.
Of course you didn't. You weren't supposed to, were you?
Also, I want to know, how much was the actual bill? What was the total payment for the bill? How much did it amount to?
£111.
£111?
Yes.
Okay. So when you said, are we going Dutch? Yeah. And she contributed something.
She put down £20.
Having seen the bill?
That's not Dutch.
Yeah, having seen the bill, she put down £20. Bearing in mind that we were given £25 each.
Okay,
right?
okay.
And, that annoyed me, I have to say. Right? And that's when I said, you better put another tenner on that.
So my thing is, she knows how the show works, because obviously you're probably one of 100 that doesn't know how it works. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people watch the show, and especially the ones that go on it will know for the full story. The bill comes at the end.
Right.
So it is quite bad that she didn't come prepared for that.
It's not Dutch. The fact is, if you have said, let's go Dutch, and she's put something on the table, Dutch is definitely 50%. So she's kind of put just a little bit towards it. And that's why Now, would your reaction have been different if you were attracted to her?
Good question.
No.
Because this has brought up so many topics for debate. Should a man pay for a first date? Or, should the man traditionally always pay? How do you feel about that in general?
Well, let's look at it like this, right?
Sorry, Steve, we've got a caller on the line.
All right.
Hello, caller, you're through to the vibe. You're live on air, please don't swear.
Hi, it's Amanda Starr, guys.
Oh, what's happening, Amanda?
Hey. Now, Amanda Starr is another presenter on the station who has been on first dates.
Hi, Amanda. How you doing?
Hi, Steve. How are you?
I'm shaking like a leaf.
Oh.
Do you know what? You're in good hands. And,
You
sorry,
are.
I'm just relaxing and listening in. And just like you, Steve, I was actually on first dates. I was on episode 2, series 1.
All right.
So I remember with my date, it was a guy called Rajan. They gave us
Rajan.
Yeah, Rajan, man like Rajan. They actually gave us £30 each.
Okay.
So yeah, maybe I don't know what
they're cutting budgets,
but they're cutting it down. So they did explain to us in the beginning that here's a contribution to your meal and drinks. If you go over, then you have to. You have to pay it, basically.
Did they do that at the interview stage? When did they do that?
So this was just before we actually. Just before I went into the restaurant.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened with me is that so the date was it was filmed on the Saturday, and then it aired on TV on the Thursday. And I saw a profile. They emailed me a profile of who I was dating on the Friday.
All right.
Did they do that with you?
Nope.
Oh, wow, okay.
No.
Amanda, has your perception of what happened changed now you've heard Steve's side of the story?
Yeah. No, most definitely. I think with some people that go on there, because they're given money, it's almost like they expect the guy to pay. And I don't think it's fair because you've both been given money. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
So she was going to pocket the £25.
She's going to keep that as her transaction.
That's what I'm saying.
For which she reluctantly...
Because the thing is obviously the viewers that are watching don't know that you've been given a contribution to your bill. Mm-hmm. So I understand why there was uproar, so to speak, with Steve's one, because you're sitting back thinking, okay, just like that. But do you know what I mean? But then Elaine's just sitting there she's expecting to go home with the £25.
She's £25 up.
It's not right.
And she made it worse. But when I was mumbling and going, help me, son, by saying, "What are you saying exactly, Steve?"
Yeah, she put it on you.
Use your words.
She put on you like that was the plan. Like
Really?
you asked her out on a date.
Yeah.
This is what I mean. So I
Give me some strong look as well, innit?
That's it. That's you know what I mean. And with Steve, sorry, I was going to say that the editing is so real with that show because you think to yourself how they're going to put it out there, and then they just edit it
however they want.
Yeah,
it's mad. Amanda, thank you for calling.
Thank you very much.
Okay, ciao.
Bye.
Oh, mate, now, Steve, I want to move on to something a little different because we looked you up.
Did you know?
We did look you up. And this is not your first TV experience.
It is not.
This is not your first TV experience. You were actually on a band. You were in a music group, a while ago. Tell us about that. Tell us about your musical background.
My musical background. I'm a founder member of a band called Central Line. We mixed up with All Light the World and Incognito. We're all kind of an incestuous little group, And I've worked with loads of different artists. Barry White. I think the last Top of the Pops I did was with Robert Palmer. I've just, loads, about 4 tops, Shaka Khan, Lulu, Billy Ocean, just loads of people.
Do you know what? Let's go into a little break, and when we get back, I want to find out more about this.
I still got questions on first dates. I didn't even get
we're going to go back. We're going to go back. But I wanted to make it clear that this guy's no stranger to TV.
Yes, absolutely.
Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome back to The Vibe. This is Travis J.
And this is Candace.
And we're joined in the studio with our special guest, Steve Salvari from First Dates. What's going on, sir?
Yeah, I'm still alive, man.
You're still alive?
Yeah.
You've weathered the storm, man.
The lion's den, as you called us.
All right.
I have a pressing question, right? So I thought, let me look at what the restaurant is, what the menu's like. So we've established you've got £25 each, yeah? Now I'm looking online and it's saying that it's called the Chop House.
The Chop House?
The Chop House.
Okay.
And it's saying for £25, on average, you can get a 3-course meal.
Right.
So what on earth are you lot eating to rack up a bill of 100 and something quid?
I can't even remember now.
Was it drinks? Was it like...
Yeah,
so, do you know what I mean? If you can get a 3-course meal and you both had a 3-course meal, both of you £25, we're at £50, where's the other 70?
Well...
Or was it like a couple of bits and...
Yeah, we ordered the main course, you need to understand this. I thought I was going on a TV show, right?
You don't expect to pay on TV.
So you're getting the most expensive bits.
So I was digging in, mate.
I do the same.
Some of that. Yeah. I was, they had the prices down on the side. I was completely
bypassed.
Yeah. Didn't register with me at all. I thought, let's have a good time. Eat some food, chat, drink some wine,
and just enjoy their life.
Yeah.
So we've got some tweets now from Lord Blackwood. He said, "Nah, Steve, come on now, have some backup cash, rainy day funds. Come on, man, you should have come a bit better than that."
People don't listen, do they? Did you not just hear that my cat got rinsed? What's the matter with you, man?
What's the matter with you, Lord Blackwood?
Shut down. So what happens at the end of this situation? As in, how did it get settled? What was actually?
Did you wash the dishes?
How did you get through this?
Yeah, for a quick minute, I thought I was looking at what you get an apron on and washing the dishes. Mate. Yeah. Now, in the end, she put 30 quid to it. I put my £25 that they gave me, and then I paid the rest. So I ended up paying 55 quid, and she ended up paying a £5.
Hold on.
No, because you've got to remember the contribution of the 25 quid.
So the money that she was grudgingly giving...
that she'd pocketed for a rainy day.
That's right. He's put that to the savings.
Yeah.
And then giving you a chipping of that.
Yeah.
Nah, brother. And now
I feel like Elaine was bad mind for that.
I almost owe you an apology myself. Because when I saw the video, I put that on my social media and I was like, nah, brother. You can't be moving like that, man. That's
Elaine could have been someone's auntie. It's peak. I literally
I could be someone's uncle.
Exactly.
I
know people that would have reacted regardless of your situation and the background of you and the bank accounts and so on and so forth. People that could have had the money in their pocket but would have still reacted in the same way you did. Because there is a lot of people that feel like, well, why am I going to pick up the bill? Why is it a given that falls on me?
Well, I didn't feel like that.
No, I understand, but there's a lot of people that do.
I understand,
props to you.
I understand that too. But you have to understand this. The real situation is the reverse of that, right? On a blind date, it would have been put together by people who know you. Mm-hmm. You have friends. Mm-hmm. You have friends in common. You meet up, and you have a good time. And I've been in situations where I've insisted on paying the bill, and they want to go Dutch. I say no. All right, I'll tell you what. This is what I did on one date. I'll tell you what. You pay for the drinks, and I'll pay for the food. Right?
Yeah,
that's my trick as well.
She was quite insistent about it, right? Uh-huh. So it's not really a real. It's on the second date now. If if you're feeling each other, and I say, listen, man, I'd really like to see you again.
Yeah.
Then I'm coming there loaded for bear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because I noticed in her interview at the end, she said she was quite disappointed because, she wouldn't like you to start how you mean to go on. Now, I heard that and I was like, what do you mean start as you mean to go on? As in pay for everything all the time?
Yeah, we were discussing that earlier. We were like, what?
Well, yeah, I don't want to denigrate the lady because, she was okay, but she just got a different mindset.
Would you ever go on a date with her again?
No.
Did you exchange numbers?
No. And actually, that's not true. I gave her my card.
And she never texts you?
No.
All right. And also, so we were talking about the edits and how that sort of affects what we see and how we feel. The bit that you do at the end of first dates, when you do the piece to camera and you're in the little grey room, is there anything that we missed there? Was everything blessed? Did she have a go at you? Did she have a pop?
She had a go at me, she was going on about how come you never pay the bill. She was trying to stop herself from going, how come you never pay the bill?
Oh.
But she was trying to stop herself from going like that. If you know, when she said, you're supposed to start,
as you mean to go on.
Yeah, listen, she almost goes into it.
All right, the twang starts coming out.
Start coming, she had a go at me for not taking my hat off when I first met her. And I'm like, what
did you not have a fresh haircut that day? Is that why you wanted the hat on?
My head was freshly skinned, let me tell you.
It skinned?
Yes, I came there to, have a good time, man, really. And they didn't show you me saying she's nice enough, but not for me, really. I was quite nice about it. And then when I saw her bit, I could never go out with somebody like that. I was like, jeez. What?
If you heard her say that first, would you have changed your what you said? You would have just been a gentleman about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I rate that. I think that's
I would have just gone.
That's fine.
I wish she was here.
Universal. We all know what that means.
I wish she was here to do this together. Have her defend herself, but no, it's crazy, man.
Well, I've been,
I understand you have
to a pulp. People calling me all kinds of names, and so this is.
What's the worst thing you've heard?
It's not. You see, look.
Obviously, we don't swear on that on radio.
No. It's not. I don't care. I absolutely do not care what they're all saying, because they're not talking about me. They're talking about somebody they think is me. That's why it's had no effect on me. What has upset me is that they attack my friends when they go in to defend me, because a lot of them have been jumping on
chiming in,
saying, look, he's not like that, man. This guy's, I've known him for years. That's not him. You know what I mean? And they've been attacked. One girl went on there, and another woman called her a WHORE. Right?
Oh dear!
And told her some other nasty things. You know what I mean, right? And I'm thinking, you people just nuts. The only time I actually got involved is when a guy calling himself a pastor, supposed to be a leader of the community, felt it was all right to jump onto one of my friends' line. In fact, the guy that got me on the show in the first place, right? Yeah. Jump on his line and be rude, pompous, and insulting.
From a pastor?
From a pastor, mate.
Oh, my.
He wasn't cursing or nothing, but he was just rude and all that business.
Yeah.
Disrespectful. And he seemed to be shocked, because I dealt with very sharply.
Yeah.
Very sharply indeed, right? And he was kind of shocked. In the end, he blocked me. I said to him,
that's the ways of social media.
Yeah,
social media is wild when it comes to these things, man.
Block away, Dread. Block away, I said to him.
Block away, Dread.
Yeah.
So now, you were in the band Light of the World and Central Line. Now, tell us about your music career. Are you still involved in music? Is that still something that is?
Yeah, I'm still involved. We've now got a super group together.
A super group? Tell us.
Yeah, it's original Light of the World guys, the original founding members of Light of the World, now called Beggar and Co. Two of the McLean brothers from High Tension, the two McLean brothers, I should say, from High Tension, and me from Central Line. Yeah, we just did a gig at the Soul Survivors Awards last Friday.
Amazing.
Now that was funny, because I was standing there, because obviously I knew loads of people from the scene and all that.
Yeah.
I'm chatting away to one group and somebody called my name, and I turned around and there must have been about 10-15 people shaking £10 notes at me.
I was going to say, you're being recognised now for more than the music. Is it first dates?
Yeah. All shake, I wish
put another tenner in.
Shot, yeah. And when I was on stage talking and that, people kept on saying, put another tenner on there.
Wow.
Really, really funny.
You need to brand that, man. Get some t-shirts.
That's a hashtag and a
Put
half.
another 10 quid with it.
Yeah, well, that's it, And I just started back teaching. I used to teach music production. Me and my mate Mikis, we put together a music production course, and we taught it for like 4 years. And I quit because I was developing an artist. And I went back just last week, as it happens. And when I walked in on my first day, the kids are like squinting. Is it him? And then, is that you? And I'm like, yeah, it's me. Right? And they all come round, and they all wanted to take their photograph of me with a £10 note.
Oh, my.
I'm like, yeah.
I feel like we've got to get a picture before the day is out with our £10 notes.
So there's been some lighter moments, you know, but just generally, and I mean it really, it has had no effect on me, because I think they need counselling, all of them. They do, because, are you talking about someone you don't even know? Right?
Yeah,
this is social media, though. It does give people a...
based on what? And the thing is, they've cut it down to that... just to the moment, not the whole show or anything like that. So it focuses on that, and it just drives people mad. And you know, I'm like...
I think you are the most recognised person from First Days, though, hands down, since the series started. And whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, it's you, innit, Steve? So well done.
I saw that video and I went out of my way to save it on my phone.
Yeah.
Now, it's on my understanding that you have an agent now off the back of this. And
yeah, there's little things going on in the background.
So congratulations.
So what's in
next?
the pipeline? Yeah.
What's next?
I think you need to have a spin-off show.
Well, you know...
A spin-off
Steve
show.
the Bachelor. Yeah, man.
And all these women got to compete for your love now. Because obviously...
And they got to pay.
They need to bring extra 10 quid.
Well, you know...
He's like, I don't want to say too much.
No, I'm going to tell you what happened at the show. A woman came up to me and said, I'd go on a date with you and I'd pay for it.
Oh, wow.
That's for real.
Okay, so they're in the DMs. I love it.
Because you know the flip side to this? Because you felt like that about paying for that date, a lot of people will be like, that's because he didn't really like her that much. Fair enough. Now, when you are out with a woman on a date and you feel like you want to pay for this, she's going to feel so special.
Well,
I'm the one. I'm the chosen
one.
With
the voice interview just before I came here, you know, she said, I've got coffee for you and all that kind of business, and you know I'm paying for it. So,
they're going down this road, isn't it?
You know, and I just said to her, "Should we go Dutch?" She's like,
"You see,
stick with you for a while, Steve."
In your court now, brother.
Yeah, I'm having jokes with it.
Good.
You know, people were worried that I was getting traumatized, but I'm not.
That's good to hear.
I was concerned. That's why I wanted you to come and speak for yourself,
clear
man.
the air.
I've seen too many debates going on. I'm like, no, but the brother, you don't even know the guy. Let him speak for himself.
Yeah.
Crazy, man. So, is there any new music coming out in the pipeline?
Yeah, I'm working on my album right now. It's getting there. It's a long process doing an album. You know, you listen to it, you think, that's good, and then you listen to it again, and go sing that again, and all that. But it's coming. I should have it finished by about May, I suppose.
All right, man.
Fantastic.
It'll be out there.
Definitely look out for that. Well, bro, you know what? We're gonna have to get some music, some of the classic. I think we need to get some Central Line on later in the show. We need to let people know about the history, because you came in, as soon as I typed your name, I was like, hang on a minute. Oh man, thank you for coming down today, Steve.
Yeah, it's been my pleasure.
Really appreciate it, man.
Thanks for being gentle with me.
We try, man. It's all right. We don't want to hurt nobody.
This is a safe place.
We're all family here. It's all family.
This is a safe place.
But listen, I just want to say this, right, to everybody, right? What man in his right mind would go on national TV if he knew he had to pay and he walk in there with nothing in his back pocket?
This is what we were all thinking. That's what we were all thinking.
Talk the thing, Steve.
That's it, Come on.
You're listening to The Vibe, and this is Travis J.
And Candace.
It's good for the culture.